In 1984, Jennifer Thomson was just 22, a college student in North Carolina, living life with a plan. She was the type who double-checked locks, parked under bright lights, and kept her window shades drawn tight at night. Her memory was sharp as a tack, and she trusted it completely, until one fateful June night turned everything upside down. She was fast asleep in her cozy off-campus apartment, wrapped in her blankets, when a strange noise jolted her awake, just a soft sound of movement that sent chills racing down her spine. At first, she thought it was just the wind playing tricks, you know? But before she could even flick on the lamp to chase away the darkness, a man was suddenly on top of her, looming over her with a knife pressed against her throat, his eyes cold and commanding her to stay quiet. Just like that, her world changed forever. What followed felt like an eternity, though it lasted only minutes. She tried to study his face, forcing herself to look, to memorize every detail. She knew she'd need to identify him later, if she survived this nightmare. So she focused on his eyes, his jawline, the shape of his hair, everything she could grasp. It was like her brain was on overdrive, burning every detail into memory, desperate to hold on to something real amidst the chaos. When he was done, he fled into the dark, leaving her shaken but determined. Jennifer ran to her neighbor's apartment, her heart racing, shaking but fueled by adrenaline. She wanted to describe him while everything was still fresh in her mind. The police took her statement and she told them exactly what she remembered. A young black man, maybe in his early 20s, clean-shaven, with short hair, a muscular build, and striking light eyes. Every detail mattered. She could feel it in her bones. Days later, police showed her a photo lineup. She scanned the faces, steady, methodical. Then she pointed. "That's him," she said, her voice steady but her heart racing like crazy. "I'll never forget his face." The man she pointed to was Ronald Cotton, just a 22-year-old factory worker living his life with no criminal record to his name. It felt surreal, like something straight out of a movie, you know? He was arrested the very next day, and as Jennifer sat through the trial, a whirlwind of emotions hit her. There was dread, sure, but also this fierce determination bubbling up inside. "That's the man who raped me," she declared, her voice unwavering, echoing through the courtroom. The jury didn't take long to reach a verdict. Cotton was convicted and slapped with a sentence of life plus 50 years. Can you imagine that? Jennifer felt this wave of relief wash over her, the kind that comes when you finally see some order restored in a world that feels upside down. She later mentioned wanting to move on, to rebuild her life piece by piece. Meanwhile, Ronald sat in his cell, telling anyone who'd listen that he was innocent. But no one really listened. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Then, 2 years later, something strange happened. Another inmate, Bobby Poole, was overheard bragging that he'd committed the rape Jennifer described. When Ronald heard this, he asked for a retrial. At the hearing, both men stood side by side before Jennifer. She looked at them, her heart pounding, and again, she pointed to Ronald. "It's him. I'm sure." She was wrong. 11 years passed. Ronald stayed in prison. Jennifer built a life, married, had children, tried to bury the memories. Then, in 1995, DNA testing became advanced enough to re-examine the case evidence. When the rape kit was tested, the results were clear. The DNA didn't match Ronald Cotton. It matched Bobby Poole. Jennifer had been certain. Completely, unwaveringly certain, and she had been wrong. The shock of it rippled through both their lives. Ronald was released after 11 years behind bars. When Jennifer heard the news, she said the world tilted. She had done what every survivor is told to do. Look, remember, speak up. But her memory had betrayed her, and that betrayal had cost an innocent man a decade of his life. The first time they met face to face after his release, Jennifer thought she might faint. They were in a small church meeting room. She told him she was sorry, that she'd been trying to do the right thing. He listened quietly, then said, "I forgive you," and somehow he meant it. The two of them did something no one expected. They became friends. They began speaking publicly together about the dangers of eyewitness misidentification, trying to warn others that memory isn't a perfect record. It's a story our brains rewrite each time we recall it. Cognitive scientists later dove into Jennifer's case as a prime example of memory contamination. It's wild how, when she was shown that photo lineup, her brain zeroed in on one face, Ronald's. In that moment, it started to overwrite her original memory, like a new file replacing an old one on your computer. Each time she recalled the event, her mind pulled from that fresh image, reinforcing it until it felt like the absolute truth. What's really heartbreaking is how convincing that certainty was. There was no hesitation, no flicker of doubt. Her mind crafted this sense of assurance, not because she was careless or anything, but because it was trying to shield her from the trauma. It's like our brains sometimes think they know better than we do. For Ronald, the damage ran way deeper than just lost time. He spent over a decade labeled a monster, living with the weight of someone else's pain hanging over him every single day. Even after he was finally released, he shared that he still woke up some mornings hearing that haunting sound of a cell door slamming shut. Can you imagine that? Eventually, he and Jennifer teamed up to write a book, Picking Cotton. It's not just about crime or even justice. It's a powerful exploration of the fragility of what we think we know. Jennifer has opened up about how forgiveness didn't wipe away her guilt, it just kept it from consuming her. Ronald, on the other hand, said he forgave her because holding on to hate would trap him in a prison long after he was free. Their journey together is a profound reminder of the complexities of memory, trauma, and the human spirit. Their story really shook up how the justice system looks at eyewitness evidence. Can you believe that? Now, lineups are done in a double-blind and sequential way, which means the person conducting the lineup doesn't know who the suspect is either. This helps to keep everything fair and avoids any sneaky biases that might mess things up. But here's the kicker, even though our memories can feel super vivid and real, they're not always as reliable as we think. It's wild how our minds can twist a bit of fiction into a solid fact, turning what we believe into a heartbreaking tragedy. A lot of folks see Jennifer's experience as just a cautionary tale about how our memories can be pretty unreliable, but honestly, it goes way deeper than that. It's a powerful reminder that trauma doesn't just mess with our memories, it can reshape who we are at our very core. Think about it. Every time she closes her eyes, she's hoping to finally see the real attacker in her dreams, just to catch a glimpse of his face. But those dreams never come. It's like she's stuck in this endless loop, yearning for closure that feels forever out of reach. Imagine living with that weight, right? It's not just about the attack itself. It's about how it lingers, casting a shadow over her everyday life. She's constantly on edge, replaying that night in her mind, and every little sound can send her spiraling back into that moment of fear. It's like her brain is stuck in a loop, trying to protect her, but instead trapping her in a cycle of anxiety. Even the simplest things, like a door creaking or someone laughing too loudly, can trigger a flood of memories, leaving her heart racing and palms sweating. And maybe that's the cruelest part of all. Her mind, trying to shield her from one nightmare, ended up crafting another, leaving her in this constant state of unease. It's a tragic twist that really makes you think, doesn't it? This experience doesn't just haunt her. It reshapes her identity, reminding us all of the lasting impact trauma can have on our sense of safety and who we become. It's not just about the physical scars, it's about the emotional ones that run deep, influencing how she interacts with the world around her. The journey to reclaim her life and sense of self is a long one filled with ups and downs, but it's a journey that many survivors face, reminding us all of the resilience of the human spirit.